Good morning, welcome back. My name is Betty with Happy Little Loop, and today we're going to be going over every single thing I was able to crochet in January. Okay, so the very first thing I started with in January was my bulbasaur pattern. So in my December markets, I crocheted some little bulbasaurs that I took to my market with me, and they sold really well. I posted them to my story and a lot of people were interested, so I went ahead and I did write up the pattern. And so the first little thing that I did in January was I crocheted a little bulbasaur. And then I threw up the tester call, and then when I finally got when I picked my testers, the next thing I made was this medium-sized bulbasaur in blanket yarn. And so I did this because I did write up the tester call with the mini, but the photos that I took were dark, they were at night, they weren't the highest quality, so I didn't want to use them for the actual pattern. So I did include them in a Google Drive for my testers to view, but I didn't include them in the actual pattern part of it, which in hindsight might have been a mistake because there was a few testers that weren't looking at the Google Drive, even those in the initial emails that I sent out to them. But this is the medium-sized Bulbasaur, and these are in my pattern, these are what the photos were predominantly. And then I made, of course, another mini Bulbasaur, and since then I've made a ton. They're all up there. I made like so many little teeny tiny Bulbasaurs for my market. It was the month of customs. So my very first custom request came in the form of a Dedenne. Someone messaged me in response to one of my Bulbasaur reels, and they said, do you make any other Pokemon? Hey, sure, what do you have in mind? Because they didn't include what it was. And they said, Dedenne, do you think you can make one? So I looked up a picture of Dedenne to make sure I was thinking of the right Pokemon, and this one popped up. It's super cute and adorable, and I decided, yeah, of course, I'd love to try. So this was my first prototype. I started working that night, and I think I had gotten the body, the belly patch, and the ears done, and it was just the back stripe and the tail that I hadn't gotten done, and then the whiskers. So this does need whiskers. He never got his because the yarn that I was using isn't stiff enough to do the whiskers that I wanted to do. So I was waiting to see if they were ever going to respond, but I did post into my stories and there was a lot of interest. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten so many messages about one of my Pokemon before, and this was the guy that got the most attention for a pattern. So I do have the pattern written up for him. Some of the parts like the tail and the belly patch are a little bit complicated, so I haven't gotten around to writing those parts up in a way that I'm happy with yet. So that's like in the tester call. It hasn't been written yet, but it's coming February the 16th. So that's going to be this Friday. I'm recording today is February the 13th. So I don't know if this video will be out by then, but if it is, go sign up for my tester call. It's released. I made this jumbo Bulbasaur. So you can kind of see all the sizes that I did. So this is mini, this is the medium, and this is the jumbo. I actually really can't wait till I go back to market because I think it's going to be really cute to kind of put the whole family together. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? The thing that I did was this schnauzer pattern test for Crochet with Chelsea. And these are the two little puppies that I made. This one I made in Hirschner's Baby Velvet, and this one I did in Just Chenille by Premier Yarns that you can get at like the dollar store. And so they came out so cute. So the next thing that I started working on was Charizard, and Charizard is not done. He's just a head and a body right now. I got distracted because I got a reel in my like Reels feed on Instagram that was of spyxfamily and Mr. Chimera, and I don't know why that gave me such just like a brain worm. I couldn't get it out of my head. I really had to make it. I haven't even seen spyxfamily. I mean, I've seen like one episode with my daughter, but I haven't seen it by myself. But this little guy, I couldn't get him out of my brain. He looks so cute, and I had to make him. And so I made the mini Chimera, and then the person who requested Dedenne got back to me. So it was so weird because it had been days, like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 days, I don't even know. They got back to me and they said, I think I had quoted them the price was the last message to them. And so it was like 4 or 5 days later, and they said, yeah, sure, that's great. And also, can you make us a Clefairy? And I was like, wow, because Clefairy is one of my patterns. So I was like, of course I can. And I actually had one left over. So I was like, I don't even have to make that one. That one's great. So I quoted them the price for Clefairy, and they agreed. So the only thing with that was they were scaled differently. So this Dedenne and Clefairy were not the same size, but they were going to cost about the same amount just because of the amount of time it takes to work on both of them. And so what I did was I went shopping, I got some new yarn, I remade Dedenne from head to little toes. And this one I did get the whiskers on, so I'll insert some pictures because those have already gotten off to their new home. But I did get that Dedenne done, and that one I was able to figure out the whiskers on, and so the pattern was complete at that point, so I was pretty excited, and he came out so gorgeous. I did him in Hobby Lobby's velvet yarn. It's like a weight 5. I forgot what they call it. They call it something different, and it's super nice yarn. It's $4.99 regular price. They do have 30% off every other week, so it ends up to be a pretty good price, but really for Dedenne, I can only make one, and then I have like a little bit left over, so I need to go get some more because I really want to make another one in that color. I love this color for Dedenne, but the Hobby Lobby one is a little bit, the tone is a little bit different, and I like that one better, so I really want to make another one of that one. So I got an order from someone. She wanted me to make her cats for her. And so she sent me a picture of her cat. I don't know why I'm protecting this cat's identity, but I am going to be in edit. I will be protecting this cat's identity because I don't feel like I should just be exposing people. I don't know how you'd find her by her cat, but maybe there's that one guy on Instagram always posting reels where someone sends him like a short little, like a snapshot, and he can like geolocate them just based off of that. Those videos are crazy. But anyways, I would be super upset if someone reposted my children, and people are very attached to their pets, so I'm not going to repost her pet without her permission.
Mommy.
Yes, baby?
I want a big one.
A big what? Sorry, motherhood called. So in the photo, she sent me several, but in the photos, the cat looked orange and black. So I even asked, I said, is it just orange and black, or are there other colors? And she told me it's brown, black, and white. She did say that. It is not on her at all. It is completely on me. I saw the white part, the brown part went out of my brain, and I ran with orange and black. So I did do the white. I did do orange and black, and then I had to message her to ask what color the eyes were exactly because I couldn't really tell. And she said they were green, so I did the little eyes. And it came out super cute, right? And then I showed it to her, and I said, is this gonna be okay? Do you like the way this looks? She said, I love the way it looks, but is that orange? Yes. I went, and immediately when she asked that question, I went back into my messages and I read them, and I was like, oh no, this is supposed to be a brown and black cat. So I said, I'm so sorry, I read that wrong. I will get started right away if you like this design. And so she said yes, and she wanted 3 of them. She has 3 cats that all, I guess they're all from the same family, so they all look similar. And I got those done. I started working right away. It took way longer than I thought. I should have charged more. I didn't, but it was actually a pretty fun order because I knew they were gonna match her cats. And she's actually the first custom order person that's reached back out afterwards and thanked me when they received the package. Usually people are just like, you know, silent. And so that was really nice to hear because she's like, she got the order and she messaged me and she was like, I love them so much. Thank you so much. And so that was really nice. It was a Gengar pattern test. And so this is my Gengar. And this is Small Live Co. on Instagram. I'm currently in pattern testing for her new Small Live pattern right now. And I love him so much. He came out so good. He's actually really giant, guys. So if you want a giant Pokemon plushie that's going to capture a lot of attention at your markets, this one is a good guy to do if you like to use blanket yarn. So I used a weight 4 yarn working with this. This is Bernat Velvet. I think it's an orchid. So Bernat Velvet is between a 4 and a 5, right? So it's on the thinner side of a 5. It's on the bulkier side of a 4. I think they have it marked as a 5. But it's on, I mean, it's on the thinner side of a 5 if you're comparing it to like some of the other ones. But if you were to make this in a 6 or a 7, this thing would be big because it's already the size of my head in a 4. So if you're trying to be attention grabbing and you have maybe like a Comic-Con, an anime fest, or just to get people's attention, this is a great one. Because so I finished the mini, I posted pattern tester call, and now we're getting to the part of the month where I was in the middle of pattern testing. And so I was recording videos because I like to include videos for my patterns. Bulbasaur has 11 videos in his pattern. And so I was recording videos for Mr. Chimera on how to do his feet and his wings and his mane. And so I was crocheting a jumbo one. Now looking back on it, I wish I would have done just regular blanket weight yarn. I didn't want to use velvet because I wanted it to be easy to see on camera without me having to fiddle around so much with the zoom. So I went with jumbo because I happened to have, the only color I had to buy was the yellow. I happened to have the teal, this color, and the muzzle color already in my stash. So the only color I needed to purchase was the yellow. But jumbo yarn, if you've ever worked with it, is a little finicky to work with. It's harder to work with. You're not gonna crochet as smoothly. So I will probably go back someday and re-record those videos with some just burnout yarn. They came out good, and you can see what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing. These stitches are huge, but I just wish there wasn't so much like struggle with the yarn in some parts. But this is him. His little tongue, the snake, his beautiful wings, and I just think he came out great. So these eyes aren't actually his final eyes. I just put him in for photos, but I am gonna felt on some eyes. I was waiting for my felt to come in so I could felt the eyes in, and it did actually come in, so now I can do it. But I just think he came out so great, and I love him. And then when you put him with his little mini, he just looks so wonderful. The very next thing was finishing up the other chimeras in other colorways, because I wanted to kind of show people it didn't have to be Mr. Chimera, it could just be a chimera. And the very last thing that I started in the month of January was my Shrek, which you guys have already seen in my vlog. I didn't finish him in January, but I did start him. And he's already with his owner, and she loved him. She's already sent me a couple of messages just thanking me and telling me that she thinks he's great, which always makes me feel good, you know, because I was really proud of that. But that's everything that I crocheted for the month of January. So if you like this video, please think about subscribing to my channel. It would really give me that boost of confidence to keep making more videos. Thank you. Bye.